Since salvation where you do, you bless me by your giving victory, the God is fine, no fresh and beautiful, see, he's so good, he's so good, he's so good, you do for me, I love you, I feel the sweet so, you want to play your soul, and you know it's before, you don't ever see before. Sugar, 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 the sweetie sugar, honey, 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 the melody like honey. Oh, by the way, melody like butter. Oh, by the way, melody like butter. Morning, this is Kenny Daredevil on this wet morning. I don't think so I normal. I supposed to dey enjoy sleep. They go at this time, but here I am. The work of God still has to be done. Today we are talking about barrenness. Barrenness could be in the spirit. It could also be physical. We're going to take a holistic view about the term barrenness. The term holistically describes an approach that emphasizes the entirety of a system rather than just its individual part. It stems from the Greek word holos, meaning entire or all, and is rooted in the idea that the whole is greater than its part. So we're going to be looking what are the cultural factors that influence. Let's take infertility. I did pronounce it well, infertility or infertility. The three leading causes of female infertility, and men too. For men is a different exercise. Mostly is done by infection or mumps. When you have mumps or you have an infection, gonorrhea or something. But the three leading causes of female infertility are ovulation disorder, fallopian tube damage or blockage, and uterine or cervical issues. Ovulation problems like PCOS disrupt egg release, tubal issues prevent sperm and egg from meeting, and uterine conditions interfere with embryo implantation. We are going to be looking at these things from like I said, holistically, from the physical, then we go into the spiritual. So we may do a 2-day episode. A breakdown of the primary factors are ovulation disorders. Ovulation disorder, which accounts for a large portion of female infertility cases, mean a woman releases infrequent egg or none at all. The primary drivers are polycystic ovary syndrome is a leading culprit. Others include hormonal imbalance when you start to emit secretion from your nipple and you are not breastfeeding. Tubal factors, damage or blocked fallopian tubes. The fallopian tubes are where the sperms and eggs normally meet for fertilization. If they are blocked, damaged, an egg cannot be fertilized. Uterine or cervical issues, physical conditions that affect the uterus or cervix can prevent an embryo from implanting successfully or cause early miscarriages. Yeah. Why is it that when in a marriage there are issues about having children, the first person they look at is the woman. So, an African culture and causal factors of barrenness. In many traditions, African societies, bearing children is considered an ultimate purpose of marriage and core measures of adult social status. Consequently, infertility, often referred to as barrenness, we're coming there now, carries deep cultural stigma, frequently placing the blame solely on the woman. Man, don't go knock outside or commit harakiri with what do they call themselves? Ajonwa, opio. Now we they call them for worry. Did not treat them well. Um, However, medical professionals recognize that the primary concrete drivers of infertility in sub-Saharan Africa are biological and infectious, often entirely separated from cultural myths. Gender and blame. Women often bear the brunt of the stigma and are typically blamed for childless marriage, occasionally resulting in divorce and being thrown out of home or husband taking a second wife. Ancestral and spiritual beliefs. In some communities, infertility is culturally viewed as punishment from ancestors, a result of broken social taboos. And then biological and medical causal factors. Contrary to cultural stigmas, clinical data highlight several well-documented physical and environmental factors contributing to infertility across Africa. Pelvic inflammatory disease (PID), you know, according to the World Bank Health, infectious complications are the most common cause of infertility, female infertility in Africa. Untreated sexually transmitted infections lead to blocked fallopian tubes. A man may have gonorrhea and he will know, but a woman will not know. That's why I said sometime when my houseboy in Enugu was pissing in the back of my house, disturbing my peace, and shouting, Abasi, Abasi. We had to treat him and the pot and the reservoir of the people who had the infection. Post-abortive and postpartum infections, unsafe or illegal abortions, and complications during childbirth can cause uterine infection, which result in secondary infertility. Male factor infertility. Medical evidence indicate that men contribute to or are the cause of approximately 30 to 55% of infidelity cases, often linked to low sperm count, poor sperm quality, or STI-related blocking. So, the fallopian tubes, the cultural impact on women. Mother-in-laws openly accuse women of being barren and failing in their duties as wife, while the community adds its own layer of scrutiny. Okay, let's go somewhere now. Let's go somewhere. What are the types of barrenness at the come? Um, what barren women in the Bible who got pregnant? Huh? No, let's first look at those ones that didn't get pregnant. We have several notable women in the Bible. Um, Michal, daughter of King David, and King David's first wife. After mocking David for dancing like a fool, she never had a child. Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron, she was a major prophetess who led the Israelites in song but was never recorded as having a husband or child. Anna, the prophetess, an elderly widow mentioned in the Bible in the New Testament who spent time praying and fasting at the temple in Jerusalem. There is no biblical record of her ever having children. Mary Magdalene, one of Jesus' most devoted followers. The New Testament and history accounts no record of her and a child. So, can a woman, a childless woman, still be called a mother? You look my face. Can a woman who has not had a biological child still be called a mother? Yes. From the biblical perspective, a childless woman can absolutely be called a mother. The Bible expands the definition of motherhood beyond just biology, recognizing women who nurture, mentor, or lead others as mothers. Key biblical examples: Deborah, a mother in Israel, in Judges 5:7. The prophetess and Judge Deborah refers to herself as a mother in Israel. She was a leader and protector of the nation, providing spiritual and civic guidance rather than giving birth to, to the people she led. The barren woman's legacy. The Psalms and prophets celebrate the barren woman becoming a joyful mother. In the New Testament, this is expanded to show that God often grants women who cannot have biological children a large spiritual family. Now, spiritual motherhood, discipleship. In Matthew 12:49 to 50, Jesus redefined family, stating anyone who does the will of God is brother and sister and mother. This means that women who guide others in faith act as spiritual mothers. Um, Mentorship. The Apostle Paul often refers to himself as the spiritual father to Timothy, showing that nurturing and raising up believers is a form of parenthood. Motherhood of the church. Galatians 4:27 says the Apostle Paul quotes the Old Testament, Isaiah 54:1, to describe the church as a desolate woman who ends up having many more children than she who has a husband. This passage highlights that women without biological children are vital, fruitful members of the family of God who nurture up and build up the faith. Now, let's go back and look at um, barren women in the Bible who got pregnant. We have Sarah, the wife of Abraham. We have Rebecca, the wife of Isaac. You see, they had a family thing going on there. The husband didn't have a child on time, 28 or 30 years, and Rebecca too. And Rachel, the beloved wife of Jacob, still the same lineage. After years of struggle with him, Rebecca was barren for 20 years. Um, Sarah was up to 90, and the wife of Jacob, after years of struggling with infidelity, while her sister Leah bore many children, God remembered her and gave her birth to Joseph and later Benjamin. Anna, the wife of Elkanah, she was deeply distressed by her barrenness, was frequently taunted by her husband's wife who prayed at the temple. So let's, um, which the only woman who died of barrenness was Michal. When we talk about barrenness, it's important to point out that men were quick to go and find a second wife. I know if a man, a friend, he had issues of low sperm count and he was having problem at home. He said one girl get belay for her. There are always women outside who want to get belay for you. When you not fit, you they shoot blank in the house. You go just meet one random woman when go get belay for you. There was a case I heard about a woman who took her after 2 3 years of wanting a child, took her husband to a clinic or three clinics. They said the man couldn't have children, and the man went outside shooting his shot. Three women got pregnant. He told them, "I will accept this pregnancy. After having these children, we will have a DNA." And told the parents of the girls. Then he now went to his own doctor who did a check and found out there was nothing wrong with him. The woman had had an uterine puncture. She couldn't have a child. She devised a means to tell the man, make the man feel empty and naked, and then covered her atrocity. She admitted, and he said she should leave that house. He said, "You must divide these properties that you have had." Now, we think I can go there. So, when we talk about barrenness, you can be barren in the spirit. You can be poor in the spirit, like Paul said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." Blessed are the poor in spirit. Jesus said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." People like Paul, who before they became through the this journey, what they call this journey, he did. God, my brain don't they stuck. Um, the journey where he got converted, he was poor in spirit. He was killing Christians. So being barren, being poor, is not something you should taunt people about. Some people, while they were in school, had done so many abortions, and the price for it is that somewhere they do a shambolic abortion, and the resultant effect is they can't have children. There was one that I told you people here who she was she had had one of these botched abortion, and this pastor decided to marry her. She told the pastor that she told the pastor that she couldn't have children, and the man said, "I will marry you." And eventually they got married. God made her have a child. God created a sack for the baby to sit in it, to be implanted, and the baby was hard. The first thing was there was a miracle. Second, God answered the pastor's prayer. Thirdly, the man who did the abortion was the one who now did the delivery. He converted him from his atheist belief into being a Christian. So when you say you barren, oh ye barren woman that has never had a child, is in the Bible. So we should stop taunting people who have not had the privilege of having children. We cannot taunt people, laugh at them. And some of you are in marriage, your husband is firing blank, and you're going outside to get a child from Musa, Emeka, and Abiodun to deceive your husband in the house. To what purpose is this? Must everybody be a mother? Must everybody be a father? Some of us don't have the resources, and yet we go out and have children. So which is right? To illegally import a child to your husband, to illegally import a child to your husband, to say that we have a child now, or what? So barrenness is not something to be proud of, and is not something you should mock people with. Blessed are those that are spiritually barren. You can be spiritually barren. You are empty. You are an empty vessel. There is nothing good coming out of you. All they hear from you are sarcasm, abuse, insult, taunting, you insult people of faith. There's everything wrong with this pastor and everything. You are also spiritually barren. So the barrenness is not just the fact that people can't have children, but sometimes because by our mouth we have become barren. This is Kenny Deneville on When God and I Talk. Um,